show you how caffeine apps can be used with ICP MCP and an AI agent to manage your team's calendar. So I'm joined by Ashavir from the identity team at Definity Foundation and Alex from the Caffeine team. Welcome both.
Thank you, Red. Nice to be here. Great to be here, Red. Hello.
Ashavir, let's start with you then. Bring me up to speed with what the ICP MCP is.
Yes. So the MCP is this new project that we recently launched, and it's already in preview. What is this about? So this is a way for insurance identity users to be able to delegate their identities across different apps to the agents that work through their chatbots, such as ChatGPT or Claude, so that these agents can do things or can retrieve information and present it in a convenient way on demand.
And just before we move on, give me the URL for where people can find out about this product.
Exactly. So this is mcp.beta.id.ai is the landing page where you can find the instructions. This is obviously from the beta. You can know that this is not the final URL because we're still performing the last deployment checks for this to go generally available for all our users. But our users can already benefit from this feature.
Yeah, very cool. We're seeing quite a lot of things happening there as well. Let's move across to Alex. Let's talk about Caffeine. What is the stuff you're working on? What are you going to show us today?
So today, I think we're going to show two very interesting and exciting features of Caffeine. First, we're going to show that Caffeine can actually connect to other products, for example, Gmail and Google Calendar. So through Caffeine built apps, people can now connect to all their Google accounts and extract useful information from there or send email. And the other, even more exciting feature is showing how agents can actually talk to Caffeine generated apps and extract meaningful data out of that.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part is how the AI agents can drive lots of this stuff and interact with Caffeine and internet identity through different means. So we've got a demo planned. I'll hand that over to Alex to kick us off. Alex, do you want to show us what you've got lined up then?
Of course, more than happy to. Let me share my screen. I'll go quickly through Caffeine at the moment. So this is an app that we've already built. This is just an example of how people can just prompt in natural language to say, hey, please build me an app where users connect their Google calendars. And then, you can have multiple people or, I don't know, a team of people actually join that app and share their calendars. So then we can, for example, find common times to meet. So this is, just in a few sentences, how the prompt actually looks like. I can show in a second also how the generated app looks. And this is here. So basically, fast forwarding a bit, we have a bunch of users. We have, let's say, me, Red, Arshavir here, who've all shared their calendars. And then here, the agent generated an app where we get this very interesting visualization. So, we have a long period of holiday for this user, a shorter period of holiday for me, for example, free times where there's no overlap for everybody. And then there's with this brownish color, the common free slots. So, for example, if we just select only the three of us who are in the meeting today, we can basically meet whenever. So then the application can actually, create a meeting with everyone. So let's say we create a meeting for about, 3 hours, or actually even more, on August 3. Let's say we do this. The application actually creates everything that's needed and sends the invite, and then everybody can actually see it in their calendar. Now, this is all nice and fun. This is how the actual application looks like. But as I was mentioning initially, the a real powerful feature of Caffeine stands in the collaboration with or between agents and the generated application. So let me go back to the Caffeine tab.
Alex, just before you go on, I just want to just mention. So, in the background, obviously, Ashavir, myself, and a few other team members have actually logged into this app. So, whilst we're looking at Caffeine at the moment, you're just working within that app itself. But we've obviously had access to the live instance of that app. We've logged in. We've connected our calendars. And by the way, this is like 2 clicks. So it's like log in first one with internet identity. Go through that process, and then quickly there's a button that just says connect your Google Calendar or connect to Google, sorry. And it just did that nice and quickly. So now before you know it, you've got this whole team of people in there, all connected via their internet identity accounts. And that's what gets you to that view you shared with us.
Yep. And by the way, this entire app was generated by Caffeine, right?
Yes. So it's fully Caffeine. It's not one single prompt because initially it builds something that's kind of close to what the users want, but then you need to refine it a bit. Like there might be some little UI tweaks here and there, a better color theme, improved layouts and such. But overall, I guess it's just user interaction via prompting with Caffeine. Yes.
It's fascinating how many integrations are now supported with Google Calendar, with II. You get that out of the box pretty much.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes. So now let me show, the nice part of the demo of today. So I have here an example that I did a bit earlier. So I basically asked in Caffeine when could users Alex and Danny meet in August. So, both users are connected through that live app I showed earlier. And then the Caffeine agent, knows how to query the actual backend of the application, grab some data and do some inference based on that data to actually give me, Alex and Danny can basically meet anytime in August. Let's do another live one. So let's ask, when can Alex, Red, and Arshavir meet in the first week of August? Just making it a bit more complicated. And of course, it takes a while. Like the agents, there's an independent high-level agent that looks at my question, analyzes whether it can derive this knowledge automatically, or it needs to look at the application, or it needs to build something. In this case, it will just arrive to the conclusion that all the knowledge is there. It just needs to query the app.
It's making quite a few decisions on that basis.
Yes, exactly. And this is now focused only on a single app, but multiple users in the app. It can also do it over actual multiple applications at a single time. So say you had an app that does invoicing and one that does an HR, you can ask a question that unifies those apps and ask questions like, how much are we invoicing in New York or in LA? And you grab that information from both places. The agent actually does some number crunching with all that data, and then it gives you an answer in a nice format.
This is really significant. We're starting to see, rather than one app and one person, we're starting to see one app with multiple people, not just users, but people who are engaging with information from within the app itself. They're not just receiving information like they're downloading a product or something. They're able to query within that app to get an answer back. I think that's a real fundamental shift with what we're doing here. I can see that we've got a result. Obviously, it's gone through and done that. So I'll hand back to you.
Yeah, so yes, it took a few seconds, but now we have a result. I asked when could Alex, Red, and Arshavir meet in August. Actually, in the first week of August. And then it did a lot of number crunching, talking to the built application and so on. And then it got to the conclusion that, we can meet on August 3rd for about 3 hours in the morning. Actually, no, 2, sorry. August 4th, again, a bit in the morning, and we also have some overlapping time in the afternoon. August 5th and August 6th and 7th, same various combinations. And then it also gives you some summary at the end, like the widest windows are the full weekend, August 1, 2. But of course, we don't want to meet in the weekend.
Yeah, it's given a substantial amount of information here. So that's one thing. It's surfaced information. And I should just caveat by saying this is all happening within Caffeine. Obviously, we will show a different variation in a second, but just so people are aware, this is using Caffeine's own tooling to ask this question, query the app, and come back with something substantial.
Yes, yes. And all this just works out of the box. So whenever you prompt an application, all this new tech that we've introduced in Caffeine is already built in. So users don't have to do anything about that. So all the data will be exposed in the proper ways for agents to actually be able to query it and extract knowledge out of it across all the apps that people build under their account.
Do you want to do another step here, Alex, or do we hand over to Ashavir? What's your preference?
Let's hand over to Arshavir. I think this shows all the capability, but then we also want to show that we have even more powerful tech, that this thing can actually be connected by another layer that runs under the internet computer.
Perfect. Let's do that then. So you've reached a point there now that I'll just give you guys a bit more view here. You can keep going and keep using that app and so, but that's what we're going to show you. But we're just going to do it from a different point of view. So Ashavir, take it away.
Yeah, so this is actually really powerful already. As you can see, you have basically a chatbot that allows you to ask questions about multiple apps that you're building. Now, the next refinement and like the other thing that we want to demo, that I want to demo to you right on my phone here, is the ability for your end users to do a simpler thing where they can use whichever chatbot they want, such as ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or something else, and be able to interact. So not only to query for information, to ask questions about their app-specific informations across their internet identity-powered applications, but also to perform actions and to actually get things done on the go. And this is really powerful for mobile users because you're probably familiar with this situation where you're in the need to switch between multiple apps to get one task done, right? And this is very inconvenient. For example, on an iPhone, you really can't easily see two apps at the same time, or let alone more than two. So with just a single chatbot app on your screen, you can get all those things done by simply prompting your agent. So in this case, I'm going to go with a similar prompt, but as an end user that has already registered in the calendar app that Alex asked Caffeine to build, that you saw on the screen earlier. And what I'm doing here, I of course need to have the link into the app. So I copied it from from the chat that I have with Alex, and now I'm just going to go to Claude Mobile, and I'm going to use the most average Sonnet 5 medium model, so that you see that there's more speed versus you don't need a lot of intelligence to be able to use this. And my prompt is going to be, what is the next best time for a 45-minute one-on-one with Red? Right.
Nice. So just to recap there, whilst you do that, you're on your mobile device, you're in Claude, you've given it the link. For people should be aware that the ICP MCP connector is already connected. So we have that hookup from the ICP MCP to Claude, which means it can go and interrogate and work with your internet identity, which is what you've used to log into that app.
Exactly. So I'm now waiting until I start getting results. So it's also being able to run these so-called OQL queries, which is the technical term for what happens under the hood when you build your project with Caffeine. It exposes a very powerful query language for agents. And I already got a response. So here we can see that the best next time slot is today at 10 p.m., but that is a bit late. So
I might decline that one after a bit.
yeah, you might want to be more specific about
I noticed that in Alex's app, there's also a section which says which times I'm available for, and I obviously haven't set mine up. So normally people would probably book those times out so they're not available. So that's all.
Yeah. And however, it does show me that there's a second option. It says if that's too soon to catch up, the next best alternative is 15:45, 14:30 UTC. So it is time zone aware as well. Yeah, and it says since your 15:45 block ends there and Red has nothing else booked. So that makes sense. And the next thing that I can try, I can actually ask the agent to go ahead and book it.
So this is the step we didn't see in Alex's demo. So this is going beyond that. So not only are we've done it in Caffeine directly, we're now doing it in an AI agent, Claude in this example, and now this is the step beyond that, which is actually booking in that meeting. So we've just exposed the fact that I can make a meeting with Red, but actually now we're going that step beyond. And Ashby is going to invite me to a meeting. So the way it works is obviously I get an email and a booking in my calendar. So I'll let Ashby carry on with that.
So now I'm telling the agent to book the event in the Caffeine generated app, which is team availability, and it's currently running. So you can see that it's pretty quick actually. So it's already producing results.
Nice.
And there we go. Look, I have a one with Red without having to go to the web browser. It's done entirely using this agentic flow. So you can imagine that this also works across multiple applications. And the best part is because agents can hallucinate, users need to have control over what permissions they grant to the agents and for how long. And this is something that users can easily do with the MCP connector that we're providing. ICP MCP allows you to sign in for a limited amount of time. It could be 1 hour, it could be 30 days, depending on which identity you're granting access to. And on top of that, you can specify whether you want the agent to be able to just ask questions and benefit from having the powerful OQL query language that is supported in all Caffeine-generated applications. Or if you also want to grant permissions for the agent to perform actions on your behalf, and then you get the full power, full automation. But of course, there's some amount of risk that you got to be careful what you're prompting for. You got to trust the agent that is going to operate on your behalf.
Amazing. Thanks for showing that both. I think it's a great way to show how you can go from having one app, adding your team in, and then how they use it in the real world. Basically, they can be using it via Claude or directly in Caffeine itself. I do have a question for you both, though. Is we obviously this is the early step. This is our first step towards unifying these two things together. How do you see this going forward? What's the ambition?
Yes. So on the Caffeine side, I guess what we can say about this is going forward, we're gonna have more and more connectors, allowing users to bring into their Caffeine generated apps more and more functionality. Also, I guess more and more data. So these agents that can actually look into the data can actually take more informed decisions or give the users more in-depth knowledge about their data in the application. Of course, there's multiple ways in which you can view this. So when I built the app, I was the admin of the app. You guys were the users of the app. So I can query, you can query. We can also sort of separated this kind of data. So when building an application, for example, the admin doesn't need to see everything that the users generate within the app. Also, users, for example, don't need to share data with each other. In this case, because it was a calendar, they could see their availabilities. But if there's more sensitive data there, of course, that can be hidden, and this can be basically prompted out of Caffeine. So we can create a model that's much more compartmentalized and secure for data sharing between the admin of the app and the users of the app.
Amazing. Thanks for those thoughts. Ashby, what's your thoughts here on this?
Yeah, so I think that this is a very important point that Alex is making about like powering all these integrations in such a way that agentic flows could be used to facilitate both building phases of the application as well as using the application. Because as organizations grow, we believe in this refinement approach where software is never in its complete form. You don't just buy like a package of Office app suites and then keep using it for years. It's more about being able to use Caffeine as the features, as your demands grow for the features that you need. So that you can see how this is something that you need not just for like the building phase of the application, but also during its lifetime. I think that one completely different take that I have is that on the internet identity side of things, we're actually consolidating much more than we are expanding towards like adding more connectors. So our philosophy here is that, yes, every application can provide its own connector and integrate with agents, but that's pretty difficult. That's difficult for app developers because they need to build more software, security critical software. And that's more difficult for end users that need to manage a lot of connectors, sign into individual connectors every now and then. So we're providing a single connector that enables you to interact with all applications on the internet computer. This includes Cloud Engine applications as well as Caffeine-generated applications. You get all of it through just one connector. And I think that, I just want to conclude with interesting thought that popped into my head recently is that some years ago, web browsers were being commodified and users started, like almost every human being knows what a web browser is. Even if they don't know the term, they're probably using it. And this is kind of what we expect as of today, how users experience the internet and applications running online, right? They go to a web browser to visit that website. But now what's happening is the chatbots are being commodified. And this is where we think that maybe the whole concept of user interfaces is also going to evolve. So users won't think the same way about websites, about portals, about applications, online applications as they used to, because the most advanced workflows are going to become more agentic. You'll probably expect that there's still going to be a web page somewhere, but this also goes to say that, like you can perpetually refine your website, or you can just provide a convenient bridge to the kind of agentic flows that your users benefit from, because it's the most custom thing for them.
Yes, I completely agree, and you guys did a fantastic job demonstrating that in a really simple way. It's fundamentally very complicated technology, but the way you demonstrated it, just showing that in terms of the user, phenomenal guys. So thank you very much for your time. I really hope people get to use these tools very, very soon. In Caffeine, it's available immediately. The ICP MCP is currently in beta, but will be in production very, very shortly. So I hope people get to use this and experience this shift change, as you said, Ashavir. So fantastic work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fred.
Thank you. We're excited to bring this to everybody very soon. Thank you.